Hey guys, this is David with Mercer Outdoors. Got a cool video for you today. It's been a couple months since we've been out on the water, so it's about time for us to get back out there, and that's coming. But done something pretty cool, and I've shared it on my Facebook page, and a lot of people's hit me up and say, hey, you got to please make a video. So what I've done is we've built a smoker, because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I love the outdoors, I love fishing, but when I'm not on the water, I like to be cooking. So, long story short, I've had pellet smokers for years now, and they are great. Convenience-wise, you just set them and forget them, and you can't beat it when it comes to that. But I'm a perfectionist, so I'm constantly trying to find that next best thing, and just perfect my craft and perfect the smoke flavors. So got to thinking, in the barbecue world, really an offset smoker is the gold standard for brisket and pork butt and really anything barbecue. It's really hard to beat the bark and the flavor you get from burning real wood, stick burners they call them, in the coal bed. So I went out and I bought me a used offset smoker. Thought, well, I'm gonna try it because I've always had a pellet smoker. I want to see what the difference is. And I will say, the first couple cooks blowed me away. I mean, the flavor is different. It's different. But here's the caveat, and here's what I like about a pellet smoker. You're having to feed that stick burner every 30 to 45 minutes to maintain proper temperature. And if you've got all day in the world, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's fun and relaxing, and I enjoy that, but I can't always do that. So I got to thinking, what would be the best way to have the best, or is there a way to have the best of both worlds? So my wheels got to turning, and a friend of mine has messed around a little bit with building his own pellet smoker, and so I knew there was a pellet hopper assembly available from Pellet Pro, Smoke Daddy Inc. It's called the Pellet Pro, and basically it's just a 35-pound hopper and a 12 or an 18-inch chute with the burn pot, PID controller, really good electronics. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna investigate that. So I called him up to ask him about it, and sure enough, I mean, he was really helpful, and he actually wasn't using his anymore, so he told me to come get it. So that's piece one of the puzzle. So I got to drawing and designing, and I'm fixing to show you what we've built. But the first couple cooks so far have been amazing. The overall principle of an offset smoker is your heat source is offset and to the side, and then draw from the chimney, and convection pulls the hot smoky air through the cook chamber over top of your food. So you're cooking from the top down. So it clicked just by studying that the problem I've always had with my pellet cookers is the heat is coming from the bottom up. It's over direct heat. Yeah, there's baffle plates in there and stuff to try to minimize that, but it ain't the same. Almost all of your offset smoking guys cook with the fat caps up, heat sources above the meat, and the meat just doesn't dry out the same as what I found with a pellet smoker. Like, there again, I mean, I'm not down in pellet smoker because I love them and they are great, but there is a slight difference. So that's kind of what this video is about. So I got to researching, and I did find a few guys that have tried a similar idea. One guy, if you're goes by Trinity Smokers. He's on YouTube, and he actually uses that same Pellet Pro hopper assembly and adapts. He sells an adapter that adapts that hopper assembly to the bottom of an offset cooker, and all you have to do is cut a hole and bolt it up. And add a little bit of bracing or whatever. But so that being said, you know, I'm not the first one with this idea, and if you're out there and you want to give this a try on your own smoker, you know, and you don't have means to fabricate stuff on your own, check him out. It's called Trinity Smokers. I can't vouch for quality of the product. I haven't seen it firsthand, but it looks to be decent, you know, best I can tell, and it seems like a nice guy. So check them out. But you guys, anybody who knows me knows that I love fabricating, you know, back in my race car days, you know. So my wheels got to turning, and next thing you know, this thing turned into a full-blown custom smoker, and from the ground up. So I'm gonna stop the camera here and turn it around and give you a walk around on what we wound up with, and then we'll finish up with any comments, and may include part of a cook as the video is, depending on how time goes. But I know glad to get back on video, and definitely looking forward to getting back on the water. So I hope you guys will stay tuned for that. But we've got a nice smoker now to start doing some cooking videos, maybe some catch, clean, and cook videos in the future. You guys let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that sort of thing. So just like always, appreciate you guys, and I love you. So that being said, let's check this thing out. Okay, so as I said, what I started with was a Old Country Brazos offset smoker, and if anybody's familiar with those, they're made down in Mexico or New Mexico. I'm not sure which. I think they may have a facility on both sides of the border, but they're known for just heavy duty, bare bones quality, you know. So it's nothing but a, you know, the basic smoker was a 1/4 inch thick, you know, firebox and cook chamber. So what I started with is I stripped it totally down, touched up and ground and perfected any welds or blemishes that I could find. And from research, so the original stack stopped right here, and from researching all the popular smokers I could, Franklin and some of the high most sought after name brands, seemed like I needed a 36 to a 40 inch stack to create a better draw and give me more even heat left to right. So I did that. It got me some Schedule 40 pipe to match the stock size, and made a stack extension and a baffle there. So let's get to the pellet hopper assembly here. So here's the Pellet Pro pellet hopper assembly. It holds 35 pounds of pellets. It's about empty. Fixing to top it off and do a cook tonight. But you turn it on, you set the temperature, and it rocks on. So what I had to do was figure out a way to adapt the pellet hopper burn pot to the firebox of the offset smoker. So I took a piece of 6x6 square tubing, made me a flange to bolt up the hopper, and I'll add in some videos and some pictures of the build so you can see better how I made everything. But deflector plate, so there you can see the burn pot comes up through the bottom of the smoker, And what I had to do was just cut a hole the proper size and made it to it, and it's actually welded. I didn't want a bolt. I wanted it solid because I wanted to do an entire new custom cart and everything. So that worked out really good. If anybody knows anything about the Brazos, the wheels are terrible and them things are heavy. So I wanted some good heavy duty caster wheels with brakes and a new cart. Added a 48 inch stainless fold down shelf. Some tail true gauges. I got one at the grate height and one at the second shelf height. I don't have the second shelf in right now, but it's got a second shelf as well. But I also opened up the stack size. It was fairly well restricted there. It had like a 4.5 inch hole, and I opened it up to the maximum size of the exhaust stack because I would rather have more draw and control it with the damper than to be restricted to the size there that the original cutout was. So one thing that's also got some guys' attention is the in the smoker world is the baffle setups, and there's several different trains of thought. You know, there are baffles that deflect the heat down and across, and using tuning plates, but basically what that does is that's sending all the hot air under your food and cooking from the bottom up, which is not the process I wanted to do. So I decided to make a vertical baffle, and it's right at the edge of my cooking grate, so the hot air that comes in the smoker comes up and over my food. And by doing so, it eliminated this hot spot right here on the right hand side that so many offset smokers have. So now, and I've done several tests with probes, and I'm checking with a probe from edge of the left side of the grate, the middle, and the far edge of the right side of the grate, and I'm getting temps within 1 or 2 degrees of each other. So unbelievable. So it really makes the entire cooking surface usable. So that's the basics of the design. Like I say, it's pretty simple. It was just a little bit of work, and I wanted to do a patina finish, so I stripped the entire smoker down and rubbed it down with boiled linseed oil, and got it up to temperature and burn it in. And that is rust proof and just pretty and hard and cured. Turned out awesome. So that's what I've been doing. We're gonna fire this thing up tonight and do a pork butt, so you guys can hang around and see the finished product in a little bit. I'll let the video keep rolling and let you see the startup and everything, and how awesome it does. Because what I do, and I'll show you that when we get to it, but basically the heat's gonna be stabilized by the pellets, but then I'll lay a couple logs in there to start with. For the first 4 to 6 hours, we will rely heavily on the smoke of post oak splits. I've got some hickory too. I may mix in some hickory, but hey, when it's time to go to bed, after the meat's wrapped, after about 6 hours, 6-7 hours, once I wrap the butts, I'll dial the temperature in on the pellet hopper and just let it control the heat for the rest of the night, and I can get some sleep instead of having to stay out here and stoke the fire every 30 minutes. So that is the beauty. So I got the best of both worlds. So it's gonna be fun. You guys stay with us. We're gonna get this thing fired up. guys. It's 11:30. It's been, let's see, we started them at 6. So it's been 5.5 hours. We'll check on things. It's riding bottom grates running dead on 225, 226. Running about 275. Up in the top grate level. So if you consider the top of the bud is probably mid-range there, so you know it's pretty consistent between 225 and 250 where the bud is riding. Let's take a look at it here. Oh, that's looking pretty. Look at that. Let's go ahead and check our internal right quick. 146, 150, 150. So still lacks just a little bit before we can wrap. Go ahead and just spritz one more time with apple juice. Now let's check on our fire over here. I'll go ahead and put one more small split on while I got it open. Shut her down, let her ride. Alright, see y'all here in a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Get the camera here where you see it. The bark is beautiful. Let's see what we got in the internal here. 169, 168. That's perfect. I wanted to pull it at 165 to 170. Look at all that juice running out. Good Lord of mercy. Okay. See if I can do this without messing my hand up here. Get her stabilized again. Let her roll. We'll finish on just pellets. No reason to put no more wood on since we got her tinted now. So I'm gonna go get some sleep, guys. I'll show you the finished product here in a little bit. Love you, mean it. Good morning, guys. It's about that time. Got me a cup of coffee to start the day. It's nice and cool out here this morning. Makes me want to be fishing, to be honest with you, but we'll get to that soon enough. But I just wanted to take a minute before I get this food off and thank you guys for enduring my cooking video. I'll do more of these if you guys want. You guys can let me know in the comments your thoughts. I don't want to alienate any of my fishing only guys, but this is something else I enjoy. This smoker build was a fun little project, so I wanted to share it with you guys. It got a lot of interest on Facebook, like I said, but enough about that. It's bright and early, and we're about to take this food off. I've untinted the meat and spritzed it with some apple juice and molasses, cut 50-50, with a little bit of rub mixed in, just to give it a glaze and let the bark firm back up. So we got just a few minutes here and we'll be taking it back off. So I just wanted to give you my closing statements. The pellet, the hybrid offset, I guess that's what I'm calling it, hybrid, the offset pellet smoker. I love it. It's working great. I really think I'm gonna get the best of both worlds. I can cook primarily using full wood oak splits or hickory. I got to use a little bit of both last night. Then when it was time to go to bed, I just let the wood burn out and the pellet adjusted and pellet feed adjusted and just maintained perfect temps for the rest of the night. My fireboard beeped at me this morning when I got near my internal temp that I was wanting to uncover it. So that was 200 degrees. I uncovered it like 198. So got it on there, trying to get just a couple more degrees and let that bark crust back up. But hey, if you got any questions in the comments, please feel free to ask. And you know, if you guys want to do this to your own smoker, I know for sure you can check out Trinity Smokers. It's just a simple little bolt-on kit he offers. If you're not, wanting a full-blown cart and everything, and but I enjoy the fab process and building stuff, so I kind of wanted to put my spin on my idea anyway. So, but check him out on YouTube. He's got a cool little channel, and he'll be glad to help you out. So, that being said, appreciate you guys, and look forward to seeing you soon, either here or on the water. I love you guys. Stay tuned. Just look at that bark. That is beautiful. That's not burnt. You're talking about tender and just, God Lord, look at that. This is gonna be good. Okay, we'll get this wrapped up.